it is, the end of Dread. Now, I'm here a couple of days afterwards recording on my own right now, but I'm going to be throwing it over to our end of game discussion that we had. Now, I learned a few things doing this game, and a few things that I can improve on as I continue to storytell or game master Dread. I covered a little bit of that in our after game talk, so I probably won't go over it too much, but I learned some very useful tools, trying to just let them do them a bit more. I feel like it would have been much more enjoyable and much more horrific if they were able to just do whatever they wanted to do, as well as, and again, I also cover this in the AfterTalk as well, if their characters were a bit closer to who they are as actual people, that would have worked out in my favor a lot more. But this is all a learning experience. This was my first time ever playing Dread, ever running a game in general. And if you were wondering, these guys were my D&D group that I play with every Saturday. We had BJ, our dungeon master, we had Lauren, BJ's wife, playing Thordis, and Jess, who's playing someone that I'm forgetting the name of right now. I'm sorry, Jess, if you're listening to this. But yeah, with that said, I liked another thing about this after talk as well. Now, if I was able to get very experienced with this game and trying to make people fear for their lives, this after talk was very important. If I just ended the game and let everyone go home, that's not really a way to decompress. We started off talking about the game, and then it organically transitioned into just us talking, and that kind of let everyone wind down. So if I'm ever able to get to the point where I would like to be, in which case making people fear for their lives, after game talks would be very, very important. But with that said, I'm going to throw it over to the actual episode. Enjoy.
How was that?
That was fun.
It was fun. I want my character back.
And slightly terrifying.
I was afraid that was going to suck. I honestly thought that was going to take a lot longer.
Sorry.
It could. If we had more people, it would have.
Yes, it would have. It wasn't any of your all's fault. It's just, I thought it was going to take longer. Admittedly, I was concerned about the timing, because again, it's recorded. So the timing for it needed to be okay. Take her eye. I know you did. But it specifically wanted you. It seems like this occult only wants men.
And I almost grabbed an eye patch for you.
So did I stay back there?
Yep, you're stuck in the web.
Right.
What could we have done with the sword?
That was exactly the thing I wanted you to do with it, was to drive him into the ground. He's not trapped there. He is... When I said fear is his name, it literally is. He is the demon lord of fear.
I said it's all here.
Yeah.
So, and that's why he can't die. He's born of the pits of hell during the year's biggest, or one of the country's bloodiest times. He was born out of that grief.
Okay.
And came up through that cave and just so happened to be in the garden where he can't leave because of the crosses.
Let it be known that the only thing that I died from was fear itself.
Yeah.
So,
alright.
But this thing cannot be killed, it can be imprisoned, and you have imprisoned it. This holy symbol is now through its chest and it can't get the strength to lift itself up.
Okay. Well, that's good.
But somebody can come by and release him if they want. And you now know there's an occult that may or may not worship this thing. And it seems like they sacrifice their eyes to him.
But obviously a lot of them did not
them.
make it quite out.
Huh?
Some of them did not make it out.
Nope. This is, I'll go ahead and tell you what it is. It's a...
Does Mr. Williamson have a glass?
I'll tell you what it is, though. It's an initiation. you getting through this, encountering fear, and getting out alive is an initiation for the cult.
Wait.
So he just managed to join a cult without really knowing it.
Yes.
Yeah, but do we get to go back to the same area? Because otherwise, I'm out of the game.
What?
Well, that was the game.
Oh, okay.
No, the cave took you to the gate. Just it.
Yeah.
So game's still ending. There's no.
Yeah, it's done.
Nope, you're just forever stuck in the web.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
You're stuck with fear for the rest of your undead life.
No, he's stuck.
He's stuck too, but so are you.
You have to deal with being around Mr. Williamson.
Mr. Williamson passed on.
He passed.
You killed him.
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he? Huh.
You're still gonna be with Waylon though,
Yeah. But he seems pretty nice.
and hundreds of others.
These are two different Jenga sets.
There was.
I can tell.
Cheater.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you what it was. Was if I accidentally knocked over the tower, I was going to give you all save blocks. In which case, if somebody was about to make a risky decision that could have killed them, you could have came in and said, "I want to make the save," and put the block in.
Then what?
You had no save blocks because I didn't knock over the tower.
Okay.
That was a punishment for me if I
Yeah.
knocked it over.
Gotcha.
I enjoyed this though.
I did too.
With more time to prep, I could probably do more, and
You did good.
we could probably continue this whole Garden of Shadows thing.
The
Yeah.
props, so
What about it?
good.
Yeah.
I did that yesterday.
No, they were good. I enjoyed that.
That was good.
I was gonna
good.
try to burn the edges of that, and I was like, not enough time. Not
No,
enough
no,
time.
no. You know what
Yeah.
you do? Is you to make it you get tea.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just didn't have enough time for
It
it.
happens.
School projects.
Yeah.
Yay, high school.
Hence why, I was playing around with cardboard, and that's when I realized that it made that cool little scroll look, and I was like, ooh, they gotta find a symbol now.
Yeah.
So then I made the symbol.
Was it a number 4?
It is an
An
F.
F.
Fear. And if you pay close enough attention, it hits every point that a point of a pentagram would hit.
Or
Aha.
close enough, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
human error, but still.
Yeah.
Why did I imagine this on?
So did you plan what happened to his dad? Did he just go there and get eaten?
Yeah.
Okay.
His dad has been gone for years. And he's...
I don't get to hang out with that dude, do I?
Yeah.
Mr. Williamson's dad? Yeah, you do. He's there.
Oh.
And Mr. Williamson just went insane.
But he seemed to be like a.
Well...
I thought he was a nice guy. I think
Williams?
his son just got insane because.
Well, yeah,
of
I mean, you
things.
probably haven't met him yet.
I'm gonna have nightmares tonight, thanks.
Are you actually?
No.
Okay, I was about to say.
Like, I might have some crazy dreams, though.
I might just go try and make that sound tonight.
I will beat you over the head with whatever I find nearby.
Did those sounds actually do anything? Because to me...
Or
Creepy.
either the sounds or he'll start playing
creepy,
the,
man. It really actually
the
was.
song.
Yeah.
Okay, because to me it just sounded like me being dumb.
No.
That's
that
how most
sounded really fucking creepy.
scary sounds sound to the individual.
You start
But-
dreaming about Hocus Pocus stuff.
I'm perfectly fine with dreaming about Hocus Pocus. It's a lot nicer than...
What the game just went through.
That was... If you noticed that I played, that,
Yeah.
and it says Garden of Shadow. Where were
Yeah.
you all the whole time?
In the Garden of Peace. But
Which is no longer peaceful.
No, I got the reason for it.
Good.
Yeah, that was creepy.
I don't know.
As it should have been, so good job.
Did I do a good job with the monster? Because to
Yeah.
me, that was...
Oh yeah.
That
yeah.
was...
The sound was great.
That thing was terrifying.
The sound had been picked since I originally was going to do that. I didn't know... I actually had some sounds that I was just going to play off the laptop, but then some of them I decided I could just mimic.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that instead. I'll play them for you. It's, I had 10 sounds for him. This one was going to be at the end.
Yeah, you did a good job of mimicking
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, where And it goes on for a while.
Yeah.
This is him just kind of stalking through. I think. This was when he was going to be more burly than what he actually ended up being. Because he went through a couple of different iterations before I made him this.
Yeah.
This was what you were going to hear when you stabbed him.
Alright.
The distance.
I'm not gonna lie, what you said, your voice was a lot more terrifying than that.
How?
That sounds more like elk to me.
Yeah. And then I had, I didn't get a chance to use it that often, but I had plans for sounds to play, for the different types of walks he was doing, because you noticed he couldn't walk that fast on his human feet. So on his human feet, he sounded like this, if it'll play. Just shuffling. But then I had a spider feet sound effect, which took forever to find.
I bet.
And I didn't
I'll
use
bring
it.
you some I can use.
That.
Yeah.
And I had 2 stalking sound effects. But as I was getting down to this, I noticed that they were just starting to sound too similar.
Yeah.
Didn't realize they were peanut butter. There's turn. I'll take these then. I got some of these too.
And some of these I just wouldn't have been able to use. This last one, if that's what I remember it to be, this is the only one that I really wanted to keep.
No, that's creepy.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that.
I tried to mimic that one. That's harder for me to do.
Well, yeah, that sounds like
No,
an
I
inanimate
like it.
object.
No, I thought the sounds were really good. That picture that you found,
Oh, that's
terrifying.
great.
I merged those 2 together.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
Oh, really?
Because I found the face and I liked the face, and I still didn't know what I wanted for the body. And then I was just scrolling through Google and I found the legs coming out, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
The imagery.
Yeah.
So did I accomplish my goal? I got
you're-
under your skin a little bit?
Yeah.
Good. A little bit.
The random. That's my like shock factor.
Mm-hmm.
Me sitting right next to you, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
you're making loud noises.
Yeah. Though I will say, your little disclaimer before we started about boundaries and everything, I was expecting a lot worse.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was planning
Same.
a lot more, and then I realized that I was limiting myself based off of where we were located. I was gonna get up and stalk around you all.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Yeah.
But these cords limited me. I could have
Yeah.
at least gone over there,
Yeah.
but I just opted to stay in my seat instead.
Yeah.
Because I asked you about those boundaries before we had the cords all set up and everything, and then
Okay.
once the cords were set up, it was like, well, I'm stuck.
Yeah. Well, if we do this again, we'll prepare for it, or do it somewhere else where you have access to walk around behind us.
I could do that at my house, but you see, the thing is, I have 5 cats.
So,
If any of them knock over the tower, I have to kill them.
They're just cats.
they've got 9 lives, they'll be fine.
No, no. If they die, or if they knocked over the tower, in all actuality, it would be whoever touched the tower last dies, and that would be unfair. So
Eh.
I can get up and move around in my.
Well, it's that, or if they knock down the tower because they're your cats, it's your fault.
that too.
Ooh, so then we get extra blocks.
Exactly.
So would it count if we just took a cat and
no.
aimed it to the tower?
No,
I wasn't gonna say throw it.
No.
But just
No.
aim it to the tower.
no, it
They're
doesn't.
not inanimate objects.
That would be you knocking over the tower on purpose. I guess you could do a heroic sacrifice at that point if you wanted to.
By
Both
being in
of
the
the guys
woods,
in
grab a
our group
random
are
cat and go with the monster.
What are you talking about? Just the
That's
guys.
bad.
Because they're the only ones that are talking about killing cats.
See,
Figuratively, not literally.
This was a lot of fun to finally get off my chest. This thing has been brewing
Oh yeah?
for a week, and I was so ready to get it done.
Oh, I understand.
Oh,
I
yeah.
understand completely.
And as awful as it is that one of you had to die, I'm so glad one of you died. I wanted someone to die.
Made for a good story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got to be there in spirit.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
did.
Sarah did
I
it.
still wish our other two characters were here, though. Because I wanted them dead. I wanted them so bad.
Yeah.
But they're
Oh,
still
well.
kicking. They're still out there. There was a subplot going on with them in my head. Because if they had shown up, then I would have just inserted them into the story. What was going on was they were there too. And they would have just randomly found you if they had actually shown up. I don't know if they died or not.
Oh well, there's always next time. Wherever we end up.
Yeah. Well, I guess you could make a different character now. You got an eye patch.
I'm not getting rid of that
Or you can get a
character.
glass eye. It's up to you.
Well, I see, because he's in the occult now. He could resurrect her.
The occult isn't really resurrecting at this point.
Yeah.
They are working on summoning. But
Not gonna get a glass eye itch with that soon.
I'm already
With
summoned.
an eye patch covering it.
yes.
And that's how I can identify myself by
Are you-
raising the eye patch
are you
and letting them see the symbol.
Are you talking about the F symbol?
Yes.
Are you actually gonna willingly join this cult now?
I was ready to carve out somebody's eye. or kill her to provide a chance for me to escape.
I feel like out of everyone here,
Come
you
hang out with
developed
me
the
and make
most, but in the wrong ways. You developed into a monster.
Yeah,
Isn't
really
that the
did.
point?
I mean, I guess I could use you
my
as a
gosh.
villain. I mean, we had a
I
death.
still don't like the woods.
Yeah. So you're gonna try to turn into Phantom Hive. Not that you know that reference. But
No, I don't.
it's an anime, Black Butler. This guy makes a deal with the devil and has to get his eye ripped out, and it's got the pact symbol on it.
Honestly, that whole eye thing was just a last-minute thing on my part.
But I liked it though.
It is in the book that I did write it down that it was supposed to happen, but it was not written that it was supposed to be male. I used that as an excuse to get you to do it. But I to prepare for this, I watched a lot of Ivan Van Norman play Dread because he's a phenomenal storyteller for Dread, and
Why and how is that?
because he's like the only person out there that records for Dread.
Oh, well, okay. So by default.
He is a part of a big like YouTube channel that does
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, but he is like one of the only people out there that you can find that's playing it, besides me now.
Yeah.
But I watched a lot of his stuff, and he, like, towards the later parts of his games that he's been doing, he turned them into a really big production. Like, you're on a set. There are certain times where you're going to get up and interact with the set. There are skill challenges that he makes you do. It's not just the tower.
Yeah.
But,
So it's more LARP.
yeah, it's part LARP, I'd say. And I watched a lot of that, and then I realized, there needs to be some sort of puzzle. I had none. Honestly, you were supposed to just go through the cave and get out. And then I was like, I'm going to blockade that right there.
Yeah.
And put a little riddle. And that was my puzzle.
It wasn't bad. I enjoyed that.
I did too.
See, I was just going to stab the sword into the ground itself, thinking it'd be the
So
same.
you were
as that
gonna
one
stab it
area.
in her eye
Wouldn't have
No.
done it.
I was going to.
No, he was gonna take his little pocket knife
and stab your eye.
Rifle
Yeah.
spoon. Yeah.
and
I was
gouge
going
it out
to
with
pull
his
her
phone.
eye out that way,
Well,
and try that way first.
Well, even if I misinterpreted what you were doing, it made sense that you would have done it the way that you ended up doing it for one of two ways. One, you noticed that when you stabbed it back in before, it didn't do anything. For two,
Well, it did slow it down at least.
Slowed
It
down the decay, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
didn't stop it.
but then also, I can rationalize it as you just wanted to stab the monster and then you fell forward and plunged into the ground.
Yeah, kind of spasmed.
But, I mean, she suggested it. As soon as the suggestion was out there, I was like, it's happening, because that's what I was looking for. That was the answer I wanted.
Okay.
Like, I was honestly surprised that you got it, because I felt like I didn't hint at it enough. Like, I was trying to put certain hints in there for...
That we didn't get
Well,
wet.
like you said it wouldn't die. And I'm like, and he wants to put it in the ground, and I'm like, well, what if we just do both?
Yeah.
Maybe it will do something.
I was surprised that they caught on that they needed to pin him to the ground. I didn't know that they would do that.
Honestly, I was half expecting it, but with him being pinned in the ground, that the sword would start revitalizing the world and kill him. So
No, he's just trapped.
Yeah.
Like once
I will take him being trapped.
once that sword was removed from the only place that was able to preserve from all those years ago, it is impossible to bring it back now, unless fear got sent back to hell. That's the only way.
So in other words, you'd have to learn some kind of banishment ritual.
Yep. Maybe even be a part of like the occult.
Yeah.
Perhaps. But as a dungeon master, how did I do? Never done.
I'm not getting rid of my character.
Never done it before. Never dungeon mastered. Never game mastered. Whatever you wanted to call this.
Would have fooled me.
You kept it flowing. You kept you stayed consistent with the rules. You had answer for the random stuff. You weren't really caught off guard, or at least I didn't realize.
You guys really
Caught off
didn't
guard.
give me much of anything to get caught off guard with, except for the conversations you had with Mr. Williamson. I, for some reason, didn't think that you guys were going to talk to him that much, which is stupid in retrospect. I
Yeah.
should have thought you guys were going to do it, but I didn't.
What did you expect us to do that we didn't?
What did I expect you to do that you didn't?
This was always something.
I didn't expect you to want to stay in a cabin. So I had to put one of you in peril to make you guys leave. And it just so happened that that was the time that somebody died. Like
I wasn't even in peril.
Let's see, I was
well, like what was going to happen was you were making the pull.
We were all in peril.
You were making the pull to light the fire, and you were going to light the fire. Like one way or the other, you saw because you failed and you still lit the fire, and he still came through the fire. I wanted you to light the fire and then back up, and then him come through the fire so that you notice he just doesn't give any fucks, and then you guys run away.
Yeah.
Or can't die. Or catch on fire.
But since the
or-
tower fell, so, like, you had to die.
Yeah. Well, see, I'm sitting here thinking, like, I feel like this is going to be multiple days for our characters.
It was
We-
about 2 or 3 days.
Yes, but we needed to find some place to, a home base kind of thing. Find someplace safe to figure it out.
And I was trying to hint with the amount of dead there that maybe, and again, this is something probably only I knew, just by the knowledge that I had that you guys didn't at that point. But I was trying to point out that Waylon's cabin used to be like the place fear would stay because of all the dead stuff there. And
Oh, yeah, we
See, I
didn't
didn't
get
catch
that.
that.
I didn't
No.
either.
well, yeah, like with the dead trees pulled back. I was hoping that would point that out, but it's kind of ambiguous.
It's like I got that something bad happened there, but it was the only source of water that we had found.
Which we never used.
No, you
No.
didn't.
We did not drink any water unless there was stuff.
I had water bottles.
Yeah, I was assuming you guys were just drinking as you went
Yeah.
along.
I had two
The
water
reason
bottles.
the reason I found your water like tablets to
Yeah.
be so funny. There's no source of water except for that one thing. That one well. There was no water anywhere.
Yeah.
I thought about that after I made the map, and I realized that's stupid. I should have put a water source in there, but I had already
Yeah.
scribbled everything in.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Where did I put the book? There.
And who's to say water source would be marked on there anyway? I kind of figured there would be streams or.
Well, this map that I made was for my reference, not for like an actual map to be done.
I didn't hear what you said, and I heard your response, and we went from there. But I didn't hear why you responded that way. And you said that was cold. Joey.
Oh, he said that you died because you murdered somebody.
Yep.
Dude! Trying to save your butt.
Exactly. That's why I responded to that.
Even when he was in the graveyard, he didn't really see it that way. He just saw you stab somebody through the damn heart.
My girl.
That was actually another thing I didn't expect you guys to do, was to keep him alive, but it made all the sense in the world, and I actually was kind of glad you did at first. Because I expected like a full-on fight to go down, and
I just happened to.
And you just kind of, and it was done. Like I expected a knife to come out or something like that, but it did.
Two knives did.
Yeah.
But I mean, like for the
Yeah.
as he was strangling somebody.
Oh.
But
I was sitting here like I've got this huge mag light flashlight.
So you guys knocked him out, and then in the long run, I was like, you know what, this is probably better. This is probably better.
Well, when you think about it, we're high schoolers. I mean, yeah, we kind of ragged on public school, but not all public school students, willingly go out and,
I mean, this is a fantasy thing. It's
still.
None of us did except for that one.
You did it. You killed.
Yeah, but out of defense.
I know, but
I didn't go out there to do that.
Recalling my time as a high school student, having gone through 13 years of private school, I don't recall really thinking, no offense to anybody who did attend a public school, I don't recall us thinking too highly of them. And basically, well, there was kind of the joke in our county that there was the county school, the city school, and our private school. County grew it, city sold it, and our private school bought it. Just to give you an idea of our mindset on the different
well,
groups.
yeah.
But not.
It's really only in bigger cities that I've heard of, metal detectors and crap because of everything happening at schools.
And
So.
the whole thing with you all not having cell phones, like I could have taken that away without actually physically taking away cell phones. I did it with your GPS. You had no signal.
Yeah.
Which
But-
was through him.
That's why I was like, I have an iPod, which doesn't really need
Well,
service. So I just want to enjoy some music.
by the end of it, every bit of electronics was drained of power.
Well, yeah, the
Even
amount
the
of ghosts in the
batteries.
area,
Yeah,
there'd
the
be no way.
Well, yeah, but the reasoning behind bringing or not bringing
Yeah.
certain things is
Yeah.
what we're talking about.
And to be honest, I was developing the story and the monster as you guys were developing characters, so this wasn't me just saying, nope, you can't use that. That was, well, I made it this way and you're wanting to bring that. I guess you can bring it, but it's not going to be useful.
Right. Like all of his.
Yeah, like
Crap.
his electronics, I was like, you're surrounded by spirits. You don't know it, but you are.
Mine would have.
You had some useful stuff, like your med kit, but didn't. There's no med kit for getting stabbed through the face with 8 spider legs.
No, I had over-the-counter medications with me, and
Yeah.
With 2 bottles of water, snacks.
I thought you were about to say 2 bottles of wine. I was about to be like, why is a high school student with wine? This is what we thought. This is how we thought.
You know where Matt's mind is right now.
See, my character would not be at all surprised by her having that.
I got rain ponchos. I got cameras.
I thought about bringing weather into this, but then it was just becoming too much work.
yeah.
I also had a survival kit.
Yeah, for a one-shot, that is kind of...
Well, I mean, Dread is mostly a one-shot.
Yeah.
But Dread can go for hours as a one-shot. Like,
Yeah.
Ivan Van Norman, he does... I did a 30-day free trial on the website that he does this on. I'm going to cancel it because I finished binging it. And he had a game of Dread and a game of Madness, which is Dread. It's just, he called it something else.
Mm-hmm.
And I binge-watched those, and that took hours. Like, he might have done it in one shot, but it took probably 6 hours for each game.
Yeah.
And by the end of it,
So our normal game.
Yeah, our
Yeah.
normal sessions.
But
yeah.
by the end of it, his players were so involved with their characters that when he would kill someone, they would all bust out into tears.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
it's like a movie set.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember at the end of one of them, they were like escaping. They were about to leave through this dimension, and everyone had to make a pull from the tower. And if you did it successfully, you made it through. But if you failed, not only did you not make it through, everyone else who had not pulled yet did not make it through. So they sent one girl through who had just like fallen in love with this guy, and she made it, and then this guy goes up to make the pull, and he topples the tower, and she's there alone without this guy after she just kissed him.
Oh, man.
See, I'd love to play this again and get that involved.
Yeah.
See, I will need a lot more time to make a 6-hour game.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, absolutely, but that's why I was kind of crushed. I didn't get to play this character out, like, at all.
Well, that was another thing. I kind of wanted it to stay around 2 to 3 hours.
Right.
Because I fully anticipated someone to die, and I didn't want somebody to just be there bored.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I told you that I'd bring you in as a ghost, but like I feel like it's more effective if I don't. I only did that
Yeah.
so that you would have something to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But like just her not being there at all would have been 10 times more effective, I think. Like obviously because
Yeah,
the way the
exactly.
story was set up, she would have been there, but
Yeah.
like you guys wouldn't have seen her.
Yeah.
That's why I had to tell him. I was like, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Hello. That worked out better because he went cray-cray and she was my girl.
Yeah.
I've gone through a traumatic experience.
This entire thing,
Fear got a hold of you and just...
this entire thing was your fear.
Yeah.
Like just being outside was a
Was
fear.
your
Yes. He was uncomfortable.
Riding the bus, breathing the
like
same
that-
air
that
these
was-
people were breathing.
That was
Wow.
that was difficult because if you were to encounter something that you were afraid of, like if you were afraid of specifically spiders, and I didn't have a spider monster, I just had spiders down there, you would have had to make a pull every time. But you were afraid of literally everything, so I was just like, I guess I'm just gonna ignore it. I'm
I'm pretty sure I just had two things on there: spiders
Yeah.
and death. I hit both.
Let's see, I had mirrors and dolls.
That's why
Ah.
that's why I asked you all what your fears were, because he was going to implant that in.
Yeah. Well, see, I was sitting here thinking, like, the dolls, I mean, I'm even, like, they creep me out in, like, real life. China dolls are creepy.
So did that description actually get to you?
It's only
No.
when there's
Okay.
children singing in the background and then their heads start spinning around that I start getting creepy.
No, I had China dolls growing up, and I would go to bed, and you just look over and you see them, and it looks like their eyes are staring at you. It's creepy.
Why do you think I don't like stuff in the... I don't like... There's two I don't like in my bedroom when I sleep. Mirrors and dolls.
Yeah. And the mirrors thing, I was going more on the belief that a lot of cultures have that mirrors can steal your soul. So, like, even, like, in high school, when she has to go to the restroom there, she refuses to look.
They say pictures
Like-
do that too.
I know. But I was going to say, it was just specific.
Then how did that feel being in a funhouse mirror maze?
Wouldn't
I think if I had gotten a bit more descriptive or saw something moving in the mirrors, other than just the dolls, it would have started to even get to me.
I actually was doing that. You probably were blocking me out. I said they're
Probably.
moving out of the mirrors.
Yeah. I was too busy, like, I am not knocking this down.
Yeah, that's a lot of it.
Yeah.
And you notice that I was trying to put a lot of pressure on you. Does it make
Yeah.
it different than normal Jenga when I'm doing that?
Oh, yeah.
I did like how you, while we were trying to find the one that would work and knock
You
it
were
out.
describing what was
We were trying-
happening.
I
So
know,
was like,
I know a way
"Shut up,
to
man."
make it that much more difficult for some of us. If not, there's rules that we could put on the Jenga tower itself, like whichever
It was distracting. So
a time limit.
I don't like doing
No.
time.
No.
But I mean, it'd make it much more difficult,
Yeah.
though. If
Yeah.
It'd make it more
that's a
difficult.
weakness of mine, thanks.
But I like to think when I ask you to make
We'll
a
give
poll,
you a time
is
test.
slowing
Have
down.
fun.
Yeah.
No.
Like
Yeah.
when you're asked to be made to make a poll, time slows down, and in that instant,
Okay.
it's this like the split second until you either succeed or fail.
Like
and
the
tower
the
determines.
Telltale games that
yeah,
You set a
Yes.
timer that's ticking, and I'm not even gonna be able to play the game.
yeah.
I'm gonna be like, ah.
I
Nobody
think
made a sacrifice either.
I tried to. I tried
No, you were
Oh.
supposed to.
I tried to, too.
Knock
A
it over.
heroic sacrifice.
Well, I
You
did.
kind
I
of
did!
You kind of did.
You kind of did, but that was an accidental fall.
Sacrifice, yeah.
Like
If you had, like, pushed it over.
like how I knocked it over at the end.
I stabbed him.
Wait, no, you're talking.
No.
Oh.
If you had sacrificed yourself, if you had knocked over the tower on purpose,
Oh.
you would have made a heroic sacrifice to keep whoever else alive.
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
But
Oh.
so you kind of did when you failed and got stabbed in the head because he was too busy with you to go after us.
Oh, there you go.
But no, I think if you had asked less what our characters are afraid of and more what we were afraid of.
I thought about that after I already asked and everything
Yeah.
was already set. I feel like from now on, I'm going to ask for characters to be closer to what an actual player is.
Which would.
Well, I pretty much did.
I know.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Wait,
I know, and I
but
was
it
kind
depends
of-
on the setting. Back when we were in high school or back like here now?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
holy
What-
crap, I would have been that.
So.
Not even. I wouldn't even talk that much.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
loving the voices too, by the way. That
Yeah, those were awesome.
Wait, the voices of when I did Waylon or something?
Just all of
Oh,
it.
yeah, the whole
All of
thing.
it.
Because the only voice I did was Waylon's, and then I guess technically Fear's too. Yeah.
Sounds and a voice. Sorry,
I can
I'll be
make close
specific
enough to
next
that
time.
sound.
Yeah, not close enough.
Technicalities. Anyway.
No, that's just a humorous.
But
That's like the baby fear.
You guys were in a very wide open space.
Yeah, we could have just been like, screw this, and started running
Yeah.
anywhere.
You could have, but I would have made it to where you were lost until you got back on track.
Yeah.
Does it have to be via Jenga again?
That's the rules of Dread.
Well, for
Darn
what
it.
he's doing, yeah.
If we're playing Dread, it's Jenga. Yes. I mean, I guess you can do like a D&D horror game, which we're technically already doing.
Yeah.
Right.
Like just going up against Strahd.
Yeah.
Which honestly, at first I thought about putting Strahd in this.
We're like, buddy!
Like my first idea was to have you guys go up against Strahd.
Oh my. Meanwhile, I'm thinking, I'm on the wrong side. I should not be here.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna have him like come out of the book or something.
Spoiler
That
alert.
would've
That's
been
not
fun.
what I would have thought in high school.
Yeah.
I was still at. What is this show that you all have gotten me to watch, Buffy?
Yeah. Oh man.
Is this?
No, those the sounds you made hit the same like primal fear that like the sounds from The Grudge would get to me. Like that one, that noise.
The one that I did?
Like the noises you did reminded me of that sound.
The
which
one that I
played in
did
The
really
Grudge.
loud? Or the...
All of them.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about, actually. No, but it reminded me more of The Big Bang Theory when Wallowitz is sitting there like making all like
Yeah.
the voices and stuff, and
Yeah,
they're geeking out
when they're
about
playing
it.
D&D.
When they're playing D&D.
Yeah.
I did think that Fear was going to turn around and see you guys before you actually did something. I wanted a like split-second
He
reaction. but-
did through the window.
No, at the end. At the very end.
Oh.
When he was eating.
He was too
you.
busy eating my leftovers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. But I couldn't think of a reason to make him turn around because of you guys were staying pretty quiet. And I kind of liked the idea of
grab the backpack.
I kind of liked the idea of having him turn around at the last second to do like a little jump scare. If this was a movie, it would have been a jump scare,
Yeah.
but it worked.
No, I thought it was well done.
And I can always bring you guys back into the same campaign. I mean, there's a cult out there that's probably going to free this thing.
Yeah.
Maybe you.
Yeah.
So I can.
One-eyed cray-cray over there.
Yeah.
I can always bring people back.
He's just like, yep, that's me.
Bring Joey and Jackie back. You know, if she's not gonna go there of her own free will.
I know.
Better.
Jackie's not gonna go back. Oh, sorry.
You guys are probably going to be a hell of a lot older too if I do
yeah.
that.
Oh yeah, we'd probably be in like
Your 20s at least.
mid-20s or so.
Hey, come back from the reunion? Sweet.
You
You come back and she's still 17 because she's a ghost.
Yeah.
Drop the mic.
Yeah, that's one thing. That's one thing that spider makeover did for you. So you're gonna sleep well next to him now.
Yeah.
He's trying to take out your eye.
Oh, it'll be fine. If anything wakes me up, I'm just gonna shake him until he wakes up.
She's done that.
We went
Have
and
you
saw.
ever-
Yeah, go ahead.
Have you ever seen the play, The Woman in Black? Not the movie.
I saw the movie,
Had to play.
You need
It's
to
better.
see the play. You would love it.
but Daniel Radcliffe's in it.
It's a
Yeah, but the
if you look at
the
the playbill,
theatrics.
it's two
Oh.
people.
Mm.
In truth, there's about
Oh,
4,
okay.
maybe 5 actors.
So I can
There's at
understand.
least 4.
Lion King.
What it is, you basically have 2 guys up there talking about.
their experience.
Well, one guy he's experienced experience trying to make a play, and he's trying to sell it off to this one other man. And as he's explaining it, you're also you're hearing it, you're seeing it, and there's this woman. You keep seeing the woman in black.
And she just
She
shows
passed
up
through this-
in random places.
I
And
love that.
at the end of it,
Kinda
the man
Dracula-esque.
who he's telling the story, she's like, "This is awesome." By the way, who is this woman that you managed to hire to help you show this? She is amazing. And the guy's like, "I didn't hire anybody. It's just me here with you."
Yeah.
And you look at the playbill. It's only listed as 2 actors. There's usually 2 people playing the woman in black. They're not on there. The only one that actually has seen her is the audience and that one guy.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And the whole theory is if you see the woman in black, your firstborn's going to die. So, I was staying the night at his place, and I go to lay down. I wake up 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and I look and I see a shadow. I freak
Apparently, I
out.
wasn't breathing at this point.
Yeah, it wasn't. I
I've done
don't.
that
You're
before.
breathing, but his chest doesn't rise all the time at night. So I look and I see no chest rising, and I've seen this figure, and I'm freaking out. So I shake, I literally shove my ear against his chest until I hear a heartbeat, and then I'm like, "Wake up!"
There was something similar I've done before where I was laying in bed just on my back, fell asleep that way, which is the most uncomfortable way for me to fall asleep.
Yeah.
But I was in my dream, but I don't remember what it was, but I remembered I started to choke and I couldn't breathe anymore. And then eventually I startled myself awake and I started breathing really heavily, and I realized that my dumb ass forgot how to breathe while I was asleep. So my brain was giving me a dream to signify that I wasn't breathing to make me wake up so that I could breathe.
That's scary. 'cause
That is scary.
I feel like in dreams, if you can have reactions.
Well,
Yeah.
well,
While
also
you're
when you
sleeping.
get woken up that suddenly, you'll have I can't remember what it's called, but like paralysis.
Sleep paralysis?
Sleep
Yeah.
paralysis. And that's what happened. I couldn't move. I was
Yeah.
sitting. I couldn't move, and I couldn't breathe, and then eventually I just.
I actually had issue with sleep paralysis here about a couple weeks ago. I was hearing something in the house. We had just laid down, and my body, I was like drifting off, and I guess I either half asleep, I heard something, or I imagined I did. My eyes are open. I cannot make myself move from my side for about 30, 45 seconds. Finally, I was able just to will myself. But it's a terrifying feeling if you don't know what's going on.
No, I didn't. Not at that point, especially because I woke up, but I still wasn't breathing for a little bit.
Yeah.
I know for me, it's one of those things. If I'm jarred, if I'm dozing off and I come back out, but some systems have already started going down.
Yeah.
So you're jarred out of REM sleep.
No,
Yeah.
I'm
It's
falling
before
asleep.
he hits from sleep.
You ever had the sensation you're falling suddenly as you're falling
Yes.
asleep? It's similar to that in the fact that I'm falling asleep. Something pulls me out, and my body's still going down. Consciously, I'm trying to pull myself back out.
Right.
And it's a really fun experience being conscious aware and having no control of your physical body.
Yep. It's scary. I've had several dreams that have either woken me up, but I was like, man, I feel like if I were to stay in that, they say if you die in your dream,
Yeah.
in your sleep.
Oh, that's a good dread idea.
That is.
Oh.
Except, I have died in my dreams.
Thanks.
I had a dream
Yes, that's not true. Okay.
Yeah, no. I had a dream that my stepmother killed me.
Fun.
Well, no, but you didn't live through the.
I came back as a ghost.
Oh, okay.
I did that too in
Yep,
a
there
dream.
it
I don't
is.
remember what actually happened in the dream.
This
but I
was
remember
a
dying.
very, like, I remembered it for, like, every detail for months after
Maybe
it
because you
happened.
came back. I don't know. That's.
I've had two very, very vivid dreams. That one and one of being on an island and watching my mother drown.
I've had a lot of death ones, so although I
Yeah.
think it's I've been told it's my medication causes me to have a lot of nightmares,
I wasn't on any medication for that.
and so I've never heard of that
Yeah.
before, but I remember vaguely that my
Yeah, so I would love a Freddy Krueger-esque dread.
I want to do it now.
Yeah.
I might wait until you guys forget about that and then do it to you.
Okay.
Because to be honest with
I'm
you,
more
I
of a
actually
bye-bye man.
like I
Yeah.
don't feel like I'd be comfortable enough to do like a dungeon master for D&D yet.
Yeah.
But I felt really comfortable doing this because it was just very simple to understand.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's no, you have to roll and make a certain save.
It's just you either succeed or you fail or you refuse. That's it.
Yeah.
It's actually mainly it's closer to old school D&D. I feel
Yeah.
like just because you are making a story and we are characters. That is very much how the origins of D&D came about. you know?
And the only reason I railroaded you guys on this one, because I could have let you roam free, was a couple of reasons. One, I just got new equipment for my computer and I didn't know how well it was going to handle all this.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know how much storage I was going to be able to have. The last time I used my computer to record a podcast, it took me, I did about an hour.
Well,
And
you're still
I-
recording, right?
Yes, it's still recording, so it's still doing well. And I also had to buy a brand new card for my phone to be able to use video.
Yeah.
So I didn't know how all that was going to go, so I wanted to keep it a little shorter
Understandably
and
so.
also keep the story going with that. But I could have just dropped you
Yeah.
and let you. I could have dropped a map somewhere and had you guys find your way through there.
Yeah.
But that's something I can do for another thing,
Mhm.
or maybe we can go back to the garden eventually. And you guys know its layout well enough now. You'd be able to get around.
Yeah.
You especially, probably. You're probably
You have
Yeah.
to give me depth perception issues though.
Yes.
I will say, I feel like, should she have to go back, if she has any knowledge that something funky's going on, she's going to be bringing salt and, like, crystals.
Holy water, crosses.
Yes. Protection.
Yeah.
Straw steaks.
That's
Yeah.
called seasoning.
Ah.
Yeah, a
Maybe-
circle of white salt's supposed to do protection against demons.
I mean, the
Witches
only
and
thing you've noticed was
old-
protection there was the sword.
And the crosses kept him out.
Yeah, well, crosses, because the sword was in the shape of a cross.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like an old style sword
Yeah.
where you have the cross guards
Yeah,
making
yeah,
a
yeah.
cross, and he had it stabbed into the ground as a cross.
Which
Yeah.
is why that was not in question when I did that noise. That's interesting. Other. Huh.
But no, she'd recognize that and probably think, probably demon. Let me bring holy water and crosses and, like I said, salt is a purifying agent for a reason.
Yeah. Well, if I bring you guys back,
Yes, please.
I'm going to have something there that will probably make that a really hard time.
Huh.
You probably know.
I've already had a really hard time. Come on now.
The cult.
Yeah. I mean, the salt and stuff like that ain't gonna do anything against the occult, but
No.
it probably could against the demon. But what you don't know, but I'll tell you now, anyways, is the occult is not just worshiping fear. They're bringing others. So it's not just gonna be him.
Yeah.
Next time,
Do I get to come back?
different character. You're in the web. You can't even pass on to heaven or hell at this point. You're basically in purgatory.
I don't want to go anywhere. I want to be part of the game. With that character, I like the character.
You could do a very similar character.
Yeah.
And save Alexandra for another D&D session or something. You could play a human with her. Very easily make it fit in.
Oh yeah. I mean, I can do different.
She comes into D&D talking about her time in the web.
You did very well, you know. There are plenty of planier areas.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be argued that on one of the multitude of
Be a ghost.
planes
It's ours.
is
Yeah, that's what I
one
was
which
gonna-
magic does not have the primacy it does within most of the D&D world, and
It'd
the
be
various races were either died out, never came about for some reason or another. I mean,
Yeah, you could get resurrected in D&D.
could be argued.
Good. And the drow would probably be like, you've been in the web.
Oh yeah.
They'd like that.
Been in the web, man.
Isn't it Lilith? Is that her
Loth.
name? Loth. Okay. No, I'm thinking of some. I'm
Lilith
thinking
is
of a
within
different.
Christian.
I'm thinking of
Yeah.
a different spider.
No,
Yeah.
tell me what Lilith
Um,
was, because I keep hearing
but-
that on,
Okay,
Lilith.
on
so
Supernatural.
Lilith is, to my knowledge, not in the Christian Bible that most Protestants know of.
Which is why, as a Christian Catholic, I don't know what Lilith is.
I know she's in the Hebrew.
Lilith, if you
She was considered the first
Not Jewish.
woman
well,
not created from Adam. She was created as a separate being.
do you remember? There's two different versions of Genesis.
Yeah.
One has
The one that we have.
Adam being created, a rib taken from him,
Yeah.
and,
And
you have
that was Eve.
Yeah.
In the other version, which is right next to it in the Genesis, you have Adam and Eve being created at the same time,
But it was
and the argument is that she wanted equality with Adam, and as such she
was kicked out of
kicked
the
out,
garden.
ran off, left,
And
and Lilith.
So the writers of the Bible were like, let's write this other.
Yeah.
I
Let's
don't
write an
know.
alternative.
She's
beginning
typically
to this.
attributed as like the Christian equivalent of the mother of all monsters,
But
instead of being said like Gaia or Scylla and Charybdis-esque things in like Greek.
what I was originally trying to get at
Yeah.
was imagine Fear and Loth together.
Oh no. Loth is the D&D goddess of, she's an evil goddess of like spiders, and like the drow worship her and fear her. If you go on a quest for her and you fail, you get turned into a drider, which is like a centaur except the lower half is a spider, and you kind of go cray cray.
Well, they'd gone along great,
Yeah,
They'd be lovers.
it would be.
and their spawn would have been that.
Except for the fact that I'm pretty sure Loth is all man-hating, because the drow kind of are.
Technically, Fear's not a man.
True. Ooh. Fear is an it, and she would have no problem with that.
Yep.
It's kind of like demons.
Yep.
I love how this has devolved into like just shipping two monsters together.
I totally ship Fear and Loth now.
And we're going back to the high school thing.
Exactly. But I don't want to see any fan art.
It's a good thing I'm not an artist.
Because you totally would, wouldn't you?
I would.
There you go, I'm good.
Yeah.
And I honestly can't find like more detailed pictures of what I'd imagine Fear to be, because those two pictures were all I could find, and
Yeah.
they weren't as detailed as I wanted them to be. And if I could find that, I'd probably like edit a picture of them together, but I can't find it.
Okay. So I try to model my character off of our high school president.
It's close enough. I wanted more of like a human.
Yeah, but
form,
this
though.
is totally from Dragon Age Inquisition.
I wasn't planning on just ripping that off.
They have a fear
Let me
demon.
see.
I did not plan on ripping that off. but
Yeah.
apparently I did.
You totally did.
Well done with the description, but that's creepy.
Yeah. There's another picture of him.
Okay.
If
Do you want to say anything about our
Ooh.
campaign of Strahd right
By
now?
the way.
Curse of Strahd. I know we ain't recording it, but it's fun to talk about if you want to talk about it.
I don't really know that.
I will say it's been taking some interesting turns.
I summoned a owl.
You did summon an owl.
A giant undead angel owl.
I feel I should apologize to y'all that some of the stuff in that last little bit wasn't as detailed as it should have been. That's because I can tell y'all it was late.
Yeah.
Oh, when we took out everyone.
I was like, Steph!
There may be some long-term repercussions on some of this stuff.
Woo!
Where we took out the leader guy before we were supposed to and killed off
63
63 other
of the
blights.
Actually,
Or
well,
was it just 60?
60 blights, and there were a few druids that joined
Yeah.
to manually go in there and stab in the face.
But
which-
once we took out the main druid, we
It was
took
like there was
out
nothing else.
60
Yeah,
other
he's told me
blights.
some things that there'll be some far-reaching issues.
Is that
I'll
because of
keep
the
it
issues
at-
or the fact that I told her?
I can
The
keep it
issues.
separate.
The
I can
issues.
keep it separate,
Yeah.
I can do. I know.
It's
but
yeah.
Because there's been things he's popped up that I've seen before, and
Well,
I
yeah.
just ignore that I've seen it.
well, then you probably know the problem.
What they were doing.
What they were doing there.
No, I don't.
At the winery.
Well, they never went there. The group that I saw on
Oh.
YouTube, they never went to it.
Oh, okay. Well, I won't
So
tell
no,
you
I
then.
don't know.
We'll find out.
In the next episode.
Yes.
Yeah, like
Even though we
3
are
weeks.
recording.
Yes. I wouldn't care if we recorded. Honestly, it'd be fun.
I mean,
Just don't
honestly,
have to-
D&D would be more conducive to a podcast format than...
Oh Lord,
it would
yes.
also require me to keep things flowing a lot more consistently than we
That's
tend
that's
to.
what editing magic.
Not necessarily. I mean, Geek and Sundry does theirs.
Geek and Sundry is
Critical
where Ivan
Role.
Van Norman is from. The one that
Okay.
does the runs.
I've been following their first campaign, and I'm sitting here like I see like 6 different Matts playing because they all have voices, and it's all awesome. And the guy doing the voices is just like the NPC characters is phenomenal. Of course, all the dwarves have Scottish accents, but you know, whatever.
Well, I mean, I can start recording it if need be. I wouldn't even bring a camera that time. It just
Yeah, just be the straight podcast audio.
I could.
Next campaign, maybe.
Next
After
game.
Strahd.
Release strong.
Oh, come on! This entire podcast is about horror, and we're going up against a frickin' vampire right now.
Yeah, but when have I really been running it like horror though?
There was a couple of times.
Yeah, the Death House was pretty
Death
horrific.
House.
Death House, and then when Melee got bitch slapped like hard.
We love you.
That was
Yeah,
that was
after you
not
stabbed
fun.
Strahd in the neck, and he just turned around and backhanded you, knocked you out.
And the whole
You know what?
what's his name? Isaac's
Isaac or is it?
whatever his name is, his doll room was pretty
No.
freaking terrifying.
That's what I was gonna bring up. My grandmother collected and used to work on and like fix dolls, old dolls, new dolls, I guess
Yeah.
handmade dolls, different dolls. So I'm used to like,
Yeah, but
and I used to spend the night at her house all the time, and that did not creep me out. It's only when it's the children singing like child songs,
Yeah.
like the, you know,
like Freddy Krueger. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
yes, like
Yeah.
that. Because usually they're either not supposed to be there and they're going to end up dead, or they are dead.
Yeah.
And then when those dolls, if maybe like we top it off with the dolls are like the head spinning around.
Yeah. I don't know. I got the feeling that Ismark's dolls are a little more lifelike, like life-sized for some reason.
Isaac?
You're still in that
Is
fun
it
house,
so?
aren't you?
See,
No.
I didn't catch
No,
it.
no. There's a legit
Oh, I
fairy
know.
tale about a man that built these dolls because and
Pinocchio?
they're No. No. Pinocchio's much nicer than this. It's like there's this one beautiful girl in the village and she's in love with someone else, and there's a guy that's obsessed with her and he builds life-size dolls to look like her. And she ends up in his house, and the only way that she can keep herself safe is staying very still, or like someone goes into the house and they think it's hilarious and they turn on the dolls and get him to move around and he freaks out, and it's Russian.
Oh.
Talon Falls, the dollhouse bothered you, didn't it?
No.
Oh, surprised.
No, it's the little creepy China dolls that mess with me, not life-size ones. I know they're not real, and most people don't have those unless they have very odd lives.
See,
Grandmother did. And all she did was put together.
Life-size dolls?
No, not life-size.
That's what I'm saying. I'm talking like...
Oh, you just said China dolls, so that's I was like...
Yeah, those are creepy.
They
But
were sitting
the
on
life-size dolls don't bother me, because as weird as it is, 9 times out of 10, if you see a life-size doll, it's either A, a blow-up doll, or B, it's one someone's purchased as a bride because they're creepy.
I pictured Isaac's as being ranging from that to like that to that.
That's about what I pictured it to be, too.
About,
We had
that's
my-size
about
dancing
2 foot
Barbies.
tall to just a few inches tall.
Huh?
We had my size dancing Barbie.
Yeah, that's not the same. That's Barbie. Barbie's disproportionate anyway.
Are we ever gonna run into some Barbies in D&D?
No.
I just wonder.
Not with your all sick, twisted humor.
I try to seduce the Barbie.
What? Sick.
You know I would.
Abort.
You know I would hook Gilligan up with a Barbie.
Do not enter. Do not enter.
I know.
Not okay, Rockbiter. Put her down. Put it back. Put it
Aww. Aww.
Aw.
Okay. I'm gonna close this out then.
Alright.
I have to do it with the same thing every time. I don't know if any of you all listen to what I've done. It's stupid, but I do it every time. And feel free to say it after I say it if you want to. But without any further ado, stay spooky, my friends. Anyone?
Stay spooky.
Yeah.